hoping for a bit of news, maybe some controversial comments from one of the panellists.
And I was interested in breastfeeding as I'm in all prices.
Well, that's very good to know.
It's quite good to come to something where it isn't full of lawyers, so.
I will call, and I don't mind saying the bias, I will call a woman over a man for a story.
Or some interest in the survey that I think is being released.
The people in this poll actually didn't care what your gender was, they didn't care what your ethnic background was, and they didn't care how good looking you are. So I think this is a real breakthrough.
No matter how it can be explained away, that most people don't really care whether the contributors they're seeing on the television are male or female. But what they really do care about is that the person knows what they're talking about, that their expertise is really, really important. People, by and large, tend to believe broadcast news more than the newspapers.
In the newspaper, often you don't even notice the name of the person involved. It's embedded in the text. It is there to give credibility to the newsprint journalist. But in television and radio, but more so in television, the expert is there in their own right.
Some great questions that came in. People sort of genuinely interested in how they break into the media, what sort of contribution they can make, and how they can make a difference.
I agree with you that there's a need for more women experts to be featured in the media, and I'm happy to be one of those experts.
We should be interested in our own careers, and as Steve said, it's an excellent opportunity for marketing, and we shouldn't be so nice and British as to pretend that that doesn't matter to us.
Broadcast Ready has been really great for me in the past year at coming forward with some great guests, particularly women, on stories that I'm working on day to day. And that's ultimately always my problem, that I'm constantly working to a deadline on the day, and having someone who just brings me a guest, an expert, is really helpful. The one thing that really heartened me was the people who took part in the survey were not so concerned about how people looked, which was, a really, really positive thing. And that's something I think some women get really concerned about. Will they be judged on how they look rather than what they say? So it's incredibly heartening to see that that's not the case.
Men and women, who think that actually the number of female experts should increase are the more significant result of that slide.
Yeah, but I mentioned I was surprised about whether people wanted more or less men or women on screen, and it was something like 4/5 didn't have a preference. I thought it would be higher. I was surprised it was only 4/5, and I'm not sure many of the others really picked up on that. They thought it was an overwhelming majority. I thought, well, it's not quite big enough for my money.
It's a really, really strong panel, and I think people tonight are really, really engaging with this topic about ensuring that we have lots of expert female spokespeople in the news, and really ensuring that we properly address that gender imbalance.
On every single programme we've had a 50-50 gender balance since we've begun, which started off as a sort of stab at that might be an interesting thing to do, and became a sort of guiding principle of the programme, and it's created a much more relaxed environment for discussion.
I honestly didn't really notice that I was one of two men on the panel. I just noticed I was on a panel with other people. I was running a bit late. I just realised I sat down next to Kerry, and then I had a quick look around to see who was involved and who was talking.
Sports law is pretty high profile. There's a lot of calls for expert opinions to come on. I've done it a couple of times pretty badly, but I think if I'm going to do it, I'd like to be able to do it properly. It didn't help the first time that I did it on BBC Breakfast. I got a call off my mum later that morning saying, "You looked really old." Thanks, Mum.
That's media, isn't it? That's how people receive information. So how else am I going to get information out there? We're doing really important things in my field and really important, exciting things in my company. So how are people going to find out unless someone like me is brave enough to stand up?
I just need to learn to calm down, breathe, and actually just remember there's a dog food advert about to happen in 5 minutes' time. And I always forget that.
It's time for some fresh new faces to give you a different perspective on wearable technology or breakthrough solutions in digital media, broadcasting.
And so this is why I thought it would be quite interesting to have a voice which speaks from both sides, because I consider myself a geek and also an average consumer.
I think events like this by Broadcast Radio are really good, because I think it means that specialists and people who aren't normally used to these roles get a chance to have a go, and that's great.